coming out and supporting the exhibition opening, for supporting Dr. Rudy's work. And I think a few months ago, just before Christmas, Dr. Rudy came in with these images, and he's like, this is the sun, and started talking, I guess your passion spilled over, and talking about the solar images that he had, and kind of his work at UCCI and the observatory. And I think it's, I don't know, I feel like I've connected with you, and it's been such a privilege and a pleasure. Yeah, it's been a privilege and a pleasure to be able to see this happen. So over to Dr. Rudy. So if you would like to, I guess if we could all have a round of applause for Dr. Rudy.
Dr. Rudy, MBE.
So let me start first. I hope you can hear me in the back. My voice doesn't have its usual carry through. I want to thank everyone, first of all, for coming. There's no point doing an exhibition if nobody shows up, and I think this is a delightful sized group to come and see this exhibition. The second thing is to thank Carrie Ann and Natalie for all the work they put into making this possible. It wouldn't have happened without their efforts. Anyone who knows me knows that I'm a staunch advocate for STEM. STEM being science, technology, engineering, and math. And astronomy and the things up in the sky are often the thin edge of the wedge, or the foot in the door to get people introduced to science. And so it seemed like a good idea to use this as a way of promoting STEM. Everybody knows the sun. We all get up in the morning and see it rise and fall. But I don't know how many people have actually seen pictures like this before. I rather suspect less than 5%, unless you're actively engaged in photography. So the sun is a really interesting dynamic structure, and it is a star, just like many stars out in the universe, but it's our star, and it's really close. And we can study it, and by doing so, we understand how stars in the rest of the universe work. And finally, what's called post-processing, when you create the images with the special equipment we have. We never look through a telescope. Everything is done with digital imaging devices. And all of this has to be processed with fancy computer setups, and the colors added, and the sharpening, and the contrast, and a whole host of factors. There's a lot of room for artistic license. So you really could consider this an art form as well. If I could have made them all purple. It would have been different. So I hope you'll have the opportunity of coming out Thursday. Is it 5:30?
Friday.
Friday.
Yeah, you missed one. Oh, is it Friday?
Friday, 26th.
Oh,
Yeah, Friday.
Thursday.
That's right.
Okay, Friday at 5:30 here. And I have a little PowerPoint presentation that will take you through some of the things that are on these pictures, what they are, what they represent, and some of the different types of telescopes that we use. And there'll be ample time for questions and answers too. I hope I can stimulate a lot of questions, but just simple questions. So, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Reiterating your thanks to everyone that's come today, and to recognise we have our chairwoman from the National Gallery, Susan Oldie, with us. We've got Dr. Gordon from UCCI, and of course lots of members and supporters as well. We're thrilled to have you with us. Do come back on Friday. It is Friday. We do have an event on Thursday night, so if you do wander in, you're welcome to join that event as well. And do tell everybody, this is such an exciting series. We can't wait to hear more from you. And of course it's free, admission free to the lectures, free to the space, so that it's fully accessible to everybody. And tell your school teachers about it, because we're going to be doing lots of education around it as well.
I have two questions. Number one, would you like to see? And number two, with you being a neurosurgeon, what triggered your interest in Solaris, in photographs of the sun?
Well, the interest in astronomy came sometime before that. It was when I was 14 and Dad bought a new pair of binoculars. So I took them out and I borrowed them and go look at the, not the sun, because you never look at the sun. Look at the moon. And I was blown away by all the detail and the interesting things you could see. So Dad never got his binoculars back. They became mine. But that sort of grew into hanging out with a group of students about my age. And in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, they had a small observatory attached to the university. So we hung out there, and so the professors kind of took us under their wings and mentored and inspired us. Whilst we helped them out so that we would do the grunt work, the go for it, go for this, go for that type of thing. And out of that group of 16, and there's 6 of us still alive. The one furthest away is in Tel Aviv, and we keep in contact via emails. And 6 of us still alive. And out of that group, the total group, came about half a dozen PhDs, a couple of masters, and myself as a surgeon. And I thought that really said a lot. That punchline said that if you get kids when they still want to learn, before it's beaten out of them by some of the school systems, then you can do good things. And so that was the purpose of building the telescope and fundraising and donating it to Rory at UCCI.